Thank you. Have you ever noticed that the longer you look at something you should be doing, the more difficult it seems to appear? That the longer you put off something you should do, the more difficult it is to get started? A good deal of frustration and unhappiness could be quickly gotten rid of, according to the experts, if people would just do what they know they should do. The great newspaper editor Arthur Brisbane once wrote, "Don't exaggerate your own importance, your own size, or your own miseries. You are an ant in a human anthill. Be a working ant, not a ridiculous insect pitying yourself." Strong language, maybe, but there's a lot of sense in it. A person carrying a heavy weight is all right as long as he keeps going. The minute he stops, puts the weight on the ground, and sits down to rest, the weight seems to become heavier, the distance to be traveled greater, and the work just that much more unpleasant. Sometimes it must seem to everyone that things have piled up so high there's just no way of digging out. But there is. Pick the thing that's most important to do, and simply begin doing it. Just by digging in, you'll feel better, and you'll find that it's not nearly as bad as you thought it would be. Keep at it, and before long that pile of things to do that seems so overwhelming is behind you, finished. The thing that overwhelms us is not the work itself. It's thinking about how hard it's going to be. It's seeing it get larger every day. It's putting it off and hoping that somehow, through some miracle, it will disappear. The Chinese have an old saying that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with but a single step, and that step accomplishes two things. First, it automatically shortens the distance we still have to travel, and secondly, and just as importantly, it makes us feel better, more hopeful. It strengthens our faith. And if a person will just keep putting one foot in front of the other, he will be taken into new and exciting places. He'll see new and interesting things and think thoughts that never would have come to him if he'd remained at the starting point. And then, almost before you know it, the job is done. The journey is finished. And then he begins to wonder how or why he could ever have sat so long and worried and stewed about the time and trouble it would involve to do what he knew he should do. If you'll think back, you'll remember that you've always been happiest, most contented, after having finished a difficult piece of work or faced up to a responsibility you were worried about. It's never as bad as you think it's going to be, and the joy that will come with its accomplishment makes it more than worthwhile. The experts claim, and rightly so, that work never killed anyone. It's worry that does the damage, and the worry could disappear if we just settle down and do the work. As Calvin Coolidge put it, all growth depends upon activity. There's no development, physically or intellectually, without effort, and effort means work. Work is not a curse. It is the prerogative of intelligence, the only means to manhood, and the measure of civilization. The longer you put off what you know you should be doing, the more difficult it will become, and the more new tasks will pile on top of it. I'll be back in 1 minute. Elbert Hubbard put it this way: people who never do any more than they're paid to do are never paid for any more than they do. Payment comes in many forms, but in exact proportion to what we do. This is Earl Nightingale. Thank you.